Iron Man has some of the most savage moments in the entire MCU. But there is actually a consistent pattern to these moments that makes them so satisfying to watch and so useful if you apply the lessons in your life. So in this video, we are going to be breaking down Iron Man's most savage moments so that you can learn to command more respect in any situation. First off, Iron Man is an expert at using humor to direct the emotions of the people around him. But he's not just a purposeless clown. He controls the frame of his jokes, and that frame almost always suits his goals. Let's take a look at this example.
All those breakthroughs, military funding, honey.
You ever lose knowledge that your whole life?
I'm prepared to lose a few with you.
In this case, Tony purposely interprets what is being said as if the reporter wasn't disgusted by him. You can see it again here when Congress is grilling Tony, telling him that he needs to give up his suit. He purposely misinterprets what they are saying, responding as if they want him to be their boss.
In our interest to fold Mr. Stark into the existing chain of command,
I'm not a joiner, but I'll consider Secretary of Defense, if you ask nice. We can amend the hours a little bit.
The frame of these jokes is that everyone secretly likes and admires him, and the power of the frame behind any joke is that it subtly influences people's feelings about you, more so if you can get them to laugh. Now, when Tony is under physical attack, he switches the frame because this frame that everyone likes him is clearly not going to work. In this case, he needs to intimidate his foe and undermine their confidence. So the frame is that the person that he is speaking to is really not that strong or threatening. We see it with Thor.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. It's going around.
Come on, use your words, buddy. I have more than enough words to describe you, Stark.
And perhaps the best example of this frame comes in Infinity War when Thanos throws a moon at Tony. He quips back with this.
You throw another moon at me, and I'm gonna lose it.
If you find that you are sometimes the butt of the joke in real life, this is something to consider. What is the frame of the jokes that you are saying about yourself? This is one of the reasons you need to tread carefully with self-deprecating humor, because if you are doing it from a place of low self-esteem, you're encouraging others to do it as well. But the idea of frames extends far beyond just your jokes. If you're in any kind of physical contest, any kind of sport, this "you can't hurt me" frame is excellent, and you show it in everything from your words to your body language. So whether it's something like an MMA fight or basketball, make sure you don't show how tired you are even if you are tired, because then your opponent knows to push your cardio harder. Some fighters in MMA, for example, go even further than this, praising their opponents after they land a good shot. It is incredibly discouraging to any opponent to feel like they threw their best shot and you were left unfazed. They have no choice but to respect your endurance. And that takes us to the second category of savage moments that we see from Iron Man. He is incredibly decisive, which makes everyone around him respect what he has to say. You can see some of that in how firmly he cuts others off when he has something that he feels like he needs to voice.
That your meaningless lives are now contributing
I'm
to
sorry,
the balance.
Earth is closed today. You better pack it up and get out of here.
Done is the point that he's making. I don't think there's any reason.
Point is, you're welcome, I guess. Because I'm your nuclear deterrent. It's working. We're safe. America is secure. You want my property? You can't have it.
While we may not register it consciously, cutting someone off is a subtle display of power. And if it's allowed to happen, the person who got cut off is deferring to the person who interrupted them. Now, this doesn't mean that you should go around shouting over other people, but it does mean that you will generate more respect if you don't constantly let people do that to you. So how can you do that? Simply make sure to finish your sentence without trailing off lightly in the face of an interruption. That way you can still have a free-flowing conversation. People can interrupt, but you're not instantly yielding the floor every time someone talks over you. In this next scene, Tony demonstrates this perfectly.
I have more to offer this world than just making things that blow up. And that is why, effective immediately, I am shutting down the weapons manufacturer division of Stark International until such a time as I can decide what the future of this company will be, what direction it should take, one that I'm comfortable with.
Tony's decisiveness comes through in more than his words. In times of confusion and crisis, rather than deliberate with everyone else, he's quick to make a decision for everyone around him. Sometimes that means facilitating someone else's plan.
You better think about this. Look at that. Look at me. Last chance, yes or no?
No.
Okay. It's kind of a Springsteen-y, working class hero vibe that I dig. Happy will take you home. Yeah?
Yeah.
Sometimes that means delegating leadership.
Guys,
Call it, Captain.
All right, listen up.
And sometimes it means angering a lot of people by doing what you believe is right.
We're the Avengers. We can bust arms dealers all the live long day, but that up there, that's the end game. How are you guys planning on beating that?
Whether or not we like the decisions that someone makes, we can't help but respect decisiveness itself. But like most people, you may find that this rapid decision making is rather difficult. Instead, you might get caught up in your head weighing endless pros and cons lists. So there's two things that will help speed your decision making up tremendously. First, ask yourself, will this decision matter in a week? If the answer is no, the only way to go wrong is by delaying. So shoot from the hip, refine your instincts with experience. If the answer is yes, ask yourself this next question that Jeff Bezos calls the regret minimization framework. What decision will I wish that I will have made in 10 years, or what would I regret not doing? Expanding the time horizon often removes the smaller fears in our day-to-day life and inspires us to live to our highest ideals. As for the details, Tony has the right attitude.
I don't have any other clothes.
Okay, we'll sort that out.
This brings us to the final point, which makes so many of Tony's moments more savage than they would be otherwise. Robert Downey Jr.'s powerful and domineering body language. Now, there are three big takeaways that we see both from Robert Downey Jr. and Tony Stark as he plays him. First, the extreme openness. I've covered on previous videos how open body language is powerful. It shows that you're comfortable in your own space, whereas closed body language can signal a lack of confidence. Tony regularly takes open body language to an extreme level, though. In addition to a bit of grandstanding, this open body language communicates complete comfort with the situation, inviting any sort of threat without the need to close off. Similarly, Tony subtly dismisses threats with his lack of eye contact. Now, contrary to popular belief, powerful eye contact doesn't mean always staring someone down. Tony is able to make aggressors feel weak by not looking them in the eye. He is subtly signaling that he doesn't find them threatening enough to pay attention to.
It's me. I'm here to deal with it. Let's move on.
Prison cell. I'll send you a bar sub.
Big man in a suit of armor. This usually works.
Performance issues,
I have to say, it is critically important in these situations that Robert Downey Jr. / Tony looks to the side, away from the person, but never down when breaking eye contact. Looking to the side communicates that you are interested in other things. Whatever is approaching isn't that important. Looking down, on the other hand, communicates that you are very absorbed in what's approaching you, but you don't have the courage to face it head on. We also see Tony put his hands on everyone and everything. Now, be careful here. When done without a smile, this can come across as aggressive. But when you communicate warmth, touching is a confident way to signal that you are on the same team as someone else. Now, if you want to learn more about the nuances of touching so that you're doing it in a way that is not perceived as aggressive or overbearing, check out the video that we did on Thor, aka Chris Hemsworth. Now, we have no sponsor for this video, which means that we would especially appreciate if you decided to make it official with us and subscribed and hit that notification bell. The more viewership that we can build, the more videos that we can make, and we're actually currently looking to make 2 a week, at least some weeks. So you can also set notifications on your phone to buzz whenever we put up a new video, and that way you will never miss a chance to boost your charisma. So if you want to make sure that you don't miss any of our videos, or you just want to help support the channel, consider setting up notifications now. Either way, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.